self-confidence is everything. And my definition of self-confidence is simply this. It's you believing in yourself. That's it. It's you knowing that you're enough. If you're like me, I spent so much of my life not being confident. Because what you're going to talk about later as I walk you through these things that drain your confidence, but I let all these things externally, right? People's opinions, the fear of failure, all these things take away from my confidence. And it's crazy. We call it self-confidence, but most people's confidence is outside of self. And so my whole goal, I don't really like to use the word goal pretty much, but my whole standard for you is to have you know that you're enough. It's to have you believe at a maximum level. And I'm not trying to make you be arrogant or cocky. There's a difference. But I want you to know that you have what it takes to do whatever it is that you want to do in your life. And it's important because think about times in your life where your confidence was a little off. I remember times when I would ask a girl out and I wasn't too confident and I got told no because she probably didn't believe in me. I know times when I presented something, a business idea, when my confidence was just off a little bit, just a little bit. And it was a make or break thing for me. So my whole thing for you today is to get you to have as much confidence in yourself as you can. And there's 3 things that I want to share right now, just off the cusp, that I want to share with you right now that I do to build my confidence. I didn't always have these 3 things. But with me being a speaker, which we're going to talk about, is the biggest fear ever. Most people would rather die than actually speak. With me playing in front of 90,000 people, 90,000 people in college, in a field, and people, are looking at you, and there's so much pressure. How was I able to find that confidence in myself? So I want to break down these 3 things, and we're actually going to get into the training a little bit. So the first thing that I did and that I continue to do, so anytime I'm feeling nervous, anytime I'm not feeling confident, anytime that I'm doubting myself, I know I'm not doing these 3 things, okay? So the first thing is I give myself permission to fail. You might be saying, what are you talking about, Trent? I give myself permission to fail. I know that perfection, I don't want to say it's a myth, but perfection, everybody's trying to achieve this level of perfection every single time. And if you put that pressure on yourself, like right now, even if I put pressure as I'm recording this training and say, well, I got to be perfect, what's going to happen if I don't be perfect? I'm probably going to stop or I'm probably going to mess up. So I give myself permission to fail because I know this about failure. Write this down, and I want you to understand this about failure. Failure is not final, right? Failure is not fatal. The only failure that exists is when you quit. It's when you stop trying. Any successful person, any success, the foundation is failure. Any person that you see living at a high level, say, Trent, you're a great speaker. People say you're one of the best in the world. Do you think I woke up like that? If you know my story, absolutely not. I failed my way to this. We're going to talk about repetition in a little bit and how that builds confidence. So give yourself permission to fail. Give yourself permission to mess up. You don't want to do it on purpose. I get that. But you can always learn from it. The second thing that I do that helps me be confident and build confidence in me when I'm doing something is I trust my heart. A lot of people operate from the mind, right? A lot of people operate from up here. And you're always thinking. You're always trying to analyze. And there's nothing wrong. We have a brain for a reason. But so many people don't tap into their heart. They don't tap into their soul. And for me, as in my field with being a speaker, every time I'm up here, people can feel it. Every time I'm allowing my mind to control me, because my mind can be telling me I'm not enough. My mind can be telling me this sucks. My mind can be telling me you're going to fail. But when I operate from the heart, that real connection, you can't lose. Okay? So 2, start operating from your heart. The third thing that's probably the most important is I give myself permission to grow. I give myself permission to grow. And so I know if I'm starting something, I'm not going to be there tomorrow. And that's the problem with this world is that we want to skip the process. We don't want to trust the process. Like we start something today, or I have a business idea, or I'm starting this now, or I'm just becoming a speaker, or I want to write a book, and you expect to be a New York Times bestseller. If y'all been following my journey, you know my latest book, The Greatest You, didn't hit the New York Times bestseller list. And it's okay. Because guess what? I have another book coming out. And if that don't hit it, okay. I don't define myself by that anyway. But I can keep on coming back. I can keep on showing up. And some of you probably have done this in relationships, right? You ask a girl out and she tells you no, you ask a guy out and you keep on coming back. They might think you're a little bit crazy, but you keep on coming back, right? And it's the same thing with jobs. Listen, in this world, the only strikeout in life, I feel like, is when you stop swinging the bat. You can keep coming back to that door. They want to unlock the door for you, okay, cool. For me, all right, I'm going to go around the back door. If that ain't open, okay, cool, I'm going to bust open the window. I'm going to do what I have to do to get into that arena, to get into that space. And so when I know that I can grow, when I know that it isn't the end all be all for me, it helps me settle down a bit. It helps me grow a bit. So I'm going to repeat those three things and ask yourself these questions. When you're trying to be confident, or when you're not having confidence, should I say, are you giving yourself permission to fail? Most people, no. They telling themselves they got to be perfect. And that's why they walk on eggshells. And you can never create anything great by walking on eggshells. Walking on eggshells kills your creativity. That's facts. The second thing is, are you trusting your heart? Most people aren't trusting their heart. They're trusting their mind. The third thing is, are you giving yourself permission to grow? Think about that. Are you giving yourself permission to grow? Or are you saying, you know what, this is it? There's no redos or do-overs. If you got breath, you always have another chance. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to think about the times in your life when you weren't confident. All right? Write them down on the worksheet. And I want you to ask yourself those questions. Were you giving yourself permission to fail? Or were you expecting to be perfect? Were you trusting your heart? Or were you too into your mind? Were you giving yourself permission to grow? Or were you saying, okay, this is it.